It's time for a new month. I said, it's time for a new month. It's time for a new month. Hey, you. If you didn't know, it's time for a new month. June is upon us, and this video, we're going to be getting our monthly budget together. So for the monthly budget, I'd like to do three things. Number one, I like to write out the calendar. Number two, our monthly budget, obviously the numbers, what we're expected to bring in. And then number three, the monthly goals. Gotta have goals and aspirations for the month. Do we always live up to it? Let's just be delusional and say yes. So the year's going by fast, and we are on month 6. So if you haven't clicked that subscribe button, make sure you click that and stay tuned. So this right here is my budget planner. I love saying it. It's just a binder, but I love saying it because I just want you to know that it's so easy to budget, or at least to start. It can get complex. I gotta be real. I'm gonna be honest, but you can just use a paper and a pen, or just a binder that you buy, I don't know, from CVS, wherever, right? Easy to get started. Now the inserts are available on paperbymode.com. Go check those out. But nonetheless, a binder. Let's get into it. So every month I like to do a monthly budget. I do like to do budgets for each paycheck just because for me it works. There are some people, I have seen this, that only do monthly budgets. Maybe they only get paid one time a month, or maybe that monthly budget works for them. Now I will say I'm gonna have to close out May monthly budget, and usually, fingers crossed, the numbers don't number. They don't make sense for me with my monthly budget sometimes. But is that a user error or is that a budget error? It's probably user error because numbers don't lie. I'm just being honest. Moving on. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and get to June. Here we are. I'm gonna take all these sheets out because that's what I do. I write hard and I write to the side, and I prefer to write out of the binder instead of in the binder. Okay, let's get her shaking. Okay, and now we're gonna just go ahead, put this binder to the side, like so and like such, and let's tap into it. Okay, so I like to do my calendar on 2 pages. You know, I like to see it from a wide view. I don't even really know why, if I'm thinking about it, because I don't use it as often as I should. And I promise, I always say, yeah, girl, I'm gonna use it more. Do I use it more? No, it's just so easy to use a phone over, actual paper sometimes. Let me go ahead and adjust this so we can all see what we can all see. There we go. That's a better view. Okay. So the monthly budget quote for June is: every cent you own and every moment you spend is always an investment. Natalie Pace. So I agree. Everything you do is an investment, but what are you investing to? Okay. Am I about to invest in this cookies and cream ice cream? I don't know. These are the things I think about. I'm not going to lie. Sometimes you need to invest in it. Okay, so Sunday to Saturday, and June starts on Sunday. I am kind of doing this a little later than I planned. Also, it is 30 days in the month of June. See, I knew that. I usually struggle, but I looked it up, you guys. Okay, so the first is Sunday. Second is Monday. Third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, eighth, 9th, 10th, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. I do have to count because I get thrown off. 20, 21, 18, 19, 20, 21. Ooh, see, and I wrote 21 again. 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 7, 8, 29, and 30. 30 days in the month of June. All right, let's get us some colors together. So if you don't know, I'm a Pilot pen girl. I love a Pilot pen. Pilot, if you want to sponsor me, shout out to you. Okay, so we're gonna do green. We're gonna do orange. I don't know how much orange is in this orange. And then let's do red and let's do purple. They're all pilot pens. They're just different variations or kinds of pilot pens, but a pilot pen is a pilot pen. Okay, what I like to do, the reason why I try to get different color pens is because I want to signify the different events or things that are happening in June. Okay, so first thing, well, let's do red. I know for sure Juneteenth. Come on now, Juneteenth. It's on 19th. And if I don't get it off, I always take it off. So there's that. I just didn't spell it very well, but that's okay. And then let's talk about paychecks. My husband and I, we get paid bi-weekly. I get paid on a Thursday. He gets paid on a Friday, but I like to just estimate the days about the same time. So we just do Friday. So we get paid bi-weekly. So we get paid the first week in June, which is why I'm like, oh, you really got to make sure you get your monthly budget together, because I already like to budget stuff before I get the check. Are you guys the same way? Let me know in the comments. Because sometimes if we budget after we get the check, the money's gone. Where is the money? Okay, so the paychecks again, 2 times, June 6th and June 20th. So we're going to put payday, and then we're going to put payday. Ooh, and then Father's Day. I think it's on the 15th, but I actually got to look it up because I'm not 100% sure. Yes, Father's Day is on the 15th of June. So this is going to put here Father's Day and a little heart. All right, there we have it for our calendar. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. Nothing to it. Trying to think, is there anything else going on in June? I think that's it. Okay, so now we're gonna move along to our goals. So now we're just gonna consolidate these documents and put them all as one, and we're gonna get into it. Again, I said it in the intro a little bit, but I love to do goals, not just myself, but my husband and I, just because, you know, we want to have things to aspire to. Goals are good. Now you gotta have a plan with the goals, but goals are good. And half the time we do half of them, and then half the time we do all of them. Half the time we do none of them. So it's really sometimes a shot in the dark. But also we change, meaning maybe the end of May we're making goals for June, but sometimes when you get into June, you're like, no, this is not going to work. Okay, it's not realistic. So life happens is what I'm basically trying to say here. Okay, so let's see. Okay, so I try to categorize the goals, but at this point I don't really know what I'm gonna do with the actual categorizing, but I'll just start off with me. Okay, so I'm gonna give you guys a little backstory on why I'm making this goal, but I'm writing to make a plan for my career. My supervisor asked me that. He said, where do you need to basically give him where I see myself in a few years in my career field. If I want to stay with this job, if I want to move somewhere else, move up. He's like, he loves people who move up. He wants to recommend blah, blah, blah. And it's good. I've only been on the job for a little over a month, but I have no idea. So I need to make career plans, right? That is very important, and it's kind of a task from work. So I really need to do it regardless, but that's a good one. Another thing for myself, I want to be more consistent with my morning routine. I go into work between 6 and 6:30. I'm lying, between 6:30 and 6:45. But I try to wake up at 4 and go to the gym. I don't do it every day. I usually do it 3 times a week, but I'm just trying to be more consistent with the routine. So in order to get up in the morning and have a morning routine, that means I have to go to bed, you know, on time at night and have a night routine. So I'm saying all this to say I got to get my life together. Like, get your life together, girl. So consistent with morning routine, but also night routine. So I'm just going to say consistent with, all right, so big. Morning routine and night. Bam. Period. Okay. And then my husband, I'm gonna put him on this side. He wants to continue to study. He's studying for certification. So he goes by O, study for certification, because me and spelling are not friends. Consistently. Bam. That's an L in there somewhere. Okay. That is for my husband. For both of us combined as a unit, we want to have less unplanned spending, because when we go over May, it was a lot of money out, if I do say so myself. Okay, so let's put that over here. Less unplanned spending. And sometimes it's hard. Like I said, sometimes what you budget and who you think you are at the top of the month, you're somebody completely different. I don't know. Like, things happen, life happens, situations happens, and you can't control it. So this is the goal. We're shooting for the moon, land on the stars, whatever the saying goes. You know what I mean? We're trying, guys. We're trying. Okay, and another one that I'm going to put over here is my husband and I are trying to get us like a daily/weekly cleaning situation going, meaning we usually clean once a week, but we want to go ahead or like completely clean the whole apartment. But we want to like have a room a day, meaning maybe the kitchen on a Monday, or every Monday you clean the kitchen. Well, really it gets cleaned every day, but maybe every Monday you clean the living room, and then every Tuesday you clean the bedroom, and every Wednesday, so that's the goal. Now, is it going to work the way we think it's going to work? I don't know. So saying daily, weekly cleaning routine sounds actually ludicrous. Cleaning routine, but I explained it, so maybe you guys get it. I don't know. And then the last one here is we want to keep up with our $1 challenge. $1 challenge. Okay. This baby right here. We haven't been as good as keeping up with it as we should be. Sometimes most times we've been taking out cash. The problem is, like, when you think about it and you take your ones and they add up to $9, listen, that $9 can do a lot. It can get you, a coffee. It can get you a meal. I actually don't know if it can get you a meal. Maybe you can get something like a veggie bowl from Chipotle. But the moral of the story is trying to be more consistent when we're putting our dollars in here. We have some stuff that's bigger than dollars in here, but that's the goal. Okay, so here are our monthly goals. Now we're going to move it along to the budget. This is my favorite part. I love to see what money, we could come in, all the things. All of the things. Okay. I feel like I'm not. Okay, that's better, because I'm like, why is it not getting cute? Okay, so the month here is June. Now, if you do not know, my husband and I, we like to zero-based budget. What does that mean? That just means that every dollar has a job. So by the time we're done budgeting, there should be $0 in the checking account that we get our paychecks. That does not mean we have $0. It just means in that account, there's $0, because every job is going somewhere, whether that's a high yield savings account, whether that's to debt, whether that's to our investments or 401k, whatever it is, everything has the dollars, they have a job. Maybe it's to a different checking account so it can sit there just as a buffer, Doesn't mean you don't have anything. It just means that there's nothing that's just freeloading. There's none of the dollars just freeloading into your basic regular checking account that gets 0.00001%. That's the goal here. So let's get into that. So we're going to say we're starting off with $0 because we use zero-based budgeting. I always try to explain that just so everybody can get it, because once upon a time, people used to ask me all the time, like, girl, I know for a fact you do not have $0. You don't, maybe. You don't know, but thank you for asking, I guess, kind of, sort of. But this is where we are. Okay. So we're saying $0, and then we're doing my husband's income, and then we're going to do my income. Also, I do have to give, like, this is why we gotta talk about changing, right? So my husband's kind of starting a new role in the month of June. So obviously his income probably is going to change. So this is the budgeting section, basically saying, hey, this is what we're suspecting to come in, maybe what we usually make or whatever the case may be. But it might not be that case, which is why we have an actual side, because what actually came in, what we actually made, brought into the household, things like that. Okay, so for my income, I am budgeting $6,000, and this is both is from our full-time jobs. I should have put that. I feel like income is just a little too vague. And then for my husband's income, his is 2,200. This is for the job he currently has, and not for the job he will be starting in June, which has a different pay grade or a different pay estimate or something like that, right? Also, if you don't know, my husband previously last year lost his job, and he's been in an interim job, and he does not mind me sharing this story. I ask you guys because that's why we don't share too much, of ourselves, because we share a lot of our numbers. But he's getting it back together. And as Drake says, as long as the outcome, is income. That's all that matters. That's all that matters. Okay, so our expected income is 8,200. And I feel like it's very important. Like, I don't know how you guys feel about it, but I just feel like it's very important for us to share our real numbers and real strife, like real drama or life, just lifing. You just can't control things. And we're pushing, we're moving, we're doing good. Life is okay. So here we are. All right. So when it comes to fixed expenses, this varies in topics. Like, this is fixed is supposed to mean it never changes. And then like variable expenses is supposed to mean, it changes. But realistically, we put like electricity and water and stuff under here. So it very well can change, if I'm being honest. So let's just get with the numbers. Okay, so my husband and I, our rent is $1,545 by itself. Okay. Now we also have water/sewage. It like when we pay our rent. I'm trying to find my words. When we pay our rent, it includes that, right? The water and sewage. But I am putting it as a different line item, just so we know, So water and sewage. Okay. So this is estimating, and we are saying $105. Okay. And then for internet, this again this right here does not change unless we move or whatever, and we try to keep it within the same bounds of $50 to $60. So internet is $50. And then we have a phone bill, which is ridiculous. But this phone bill is in my mom's name. So it's my mom's phone plan. It's myself, my mom, and my husband. And for the three of us, it is $180 a month. I swear I say this all the time. Like, the bill had just creeped up another $8. I think it started off at like $172 not too long ago. Maybe a year ago. And now we're at $180. And there's no reason for it. No reason for it. So I say this all the time, it never happens. I'm trying to get my mom to contact AT&T because I just don't understand. Like, can we afford it? Yes, but are they ripping us off? Because if they're going up for us $8 and you and somebody else and everybody else $8, they're getting a killing. And I just want to know why. Why are we letting it be? Okay, so that's phone. That's $180. Now, we also have some subscriptions. And when I share this, people are like, how are your subscriptions? $22. Great question. So basically, this is just Hulu, which we get on Black Friday, the Black Friday special, so it's like 99 cents a month. This is Apple Music, which is like $17, and this is also like Apple Storage. That is all these subscriptions are. My husband and I, we recently got rid of Amazon, and then the other subscriptions my mom or another family member pays, and we share them all. So that's where we are currently. I may or may not be picking up one or two from my mom, just because it's a little unfair, because she kind of pays a killing with Netflix anyway. So we're disgusting. Okay, so that's subscriptions, and then we have student loans. Okay, so we have my student loans, and then we have my husband's student loans. Now, my student loans, I have to pay $197 every month. That is the bill. It's pretty cheap. It is cheaper than my husband's usually is, which is crazy. So I'm going to pay that regardless. That's what I have to pay to like not be in default late, whatever the saying is, right? Now, when it comes to my husband's student loans, his was previously $250. Now, his student loans were on the Save plan. On the phone, they said he has a due date. On the website, it says he doesn't have a due date. So we've just been paying his student loan because nobody has time for that. But the good news is he doesn't have interest accruing, and I do, unfortunately. And my student loans are way higher than his. So we do what we can. That's one of our goals, to pay down and off our student loans. Very simple. It takes time because the numbers are big. Okay, now our car insurance, which is nice and affordable now that we live in the DMV area compared to New Orleans. We're paying for our two cars $176 a month, and it is full coverage. Believe it or not, full coverage for mine, full coverage for his, and I love this for us. So affordability is the key here. Do not be loyal to these insurance companies because they're not loyal to you. Okay, speaking of insurance, we have life insurance. This is through a different company from our car insurance. So there's that. This is 108. What is it? 04. So for the life insurance, my husband has a term policy and a whole policy, and then I have a term policy and a whole policy. So that's how we have it covered through this insurance policy. And then we have other insurance policies from other people in our family. Like there's other things. So this is where we are with that. And then when we also have a more recent bill we acquired was gym. We pay $70 a month, and it's 24 hours, and we love it. So we've been utilizing it. Yeah. I don't know what else to say with that. Okay, so let's just get these numbers together. And look at this number. I'm grateful to God. I don't know. I feel like I always need to say that on camera, wherever. So here we are. Okay. So we have 1545. Let me not, so it doesn't wobble. Plus 105 for water and sewage. Plus 50. Plus 180. Plus 22. Plus 197. Plus 250. Plus 176 plus 108.04 plus 70, $2,703.04. I just checked my notes. It is accurate. Okay. 2,703.04. Okay, so we're gonna take 8,200. And we're going to subtract $2,703.04. So now we have, let me check my numbers, 5,496. That's correct. 5,496.96. And again, I'm genuinely grateful to God about that, because I know how hard it can be. Just at least having the fixed expenses is very important. And then we have that in surplus. So again, I'm grateful. So we're going to go from fixed expenses to variable expenses. Okay. Now, real side note here, kind of in monthly budget, but kind of not. My husband and I one of the goals is to purchase a home, and the way the housing market is just sucks, especially in the DMV area. But one of our big goals is that our budget, or our bills specifically, for rent, aka mortgage, when you purchase a home, will not change. That's kind of hard. I'm well aware, but it's doable. So we might be living in a rack shack, a tinfoil can, but we're gonna have it, you guys. I don't know. Let me not speak that up. It's gonna be great. Okay. So variable expenses. If you don't know, we just really keep a lot of the stuff the same. So we have gas for my husband, gas for me, and this is his car, my car. Then we have food, a food budget, because you gotta eat. Then we have fun. We try to be realistic here. we get a little out beside ourselves with these fun numbers. I gotta be honest. So when it comes to food, we like to do $200 for food per paycheck. Now this is groceries most of the time, but if there is money left over, you can bet your bottom dollar we might be spending to go out to eat some sushi. I gotta be real, gotta be honest, gotta tell you the truth. So here we are. We are budgeting $400. Okay, and then for gas, we're gonna do 60, so that's $30 for every paycheck. And then for fun, we're gonna do 100 because that's $50 every paycheck. Yes, we give ourselves more money for fun than we do for gas. We got little old cars. They don't take as much gas as, like, I don't know, a pickup truck. So it's not too shabby out here. Okay, let's do some numbers. So we have 400 plus 60 plus 60 and then plus 200. So now we have $720. That's the grand total for variable expenses. Then we're gonna take this number here. We have $5,496.96, and we're gonna subtract 720. So now we have 4,000. Again, I'm genuinely grateful to God. $4,776.96, because this economy is rough. Grateful to have a job, grateful my husband has a job, grateful that we make the money we make and are able to live well, or at least to us well, because some people, well is subjective. Some people feel like, man, you guys are living okay. And I get that. I get it, to each his own. So again, we have $4,776.96 left over. Now we're moving to our savings category. It's self-explanatory, right? It's where we save money, but it's not just where we save money, it's also where we invest money. So let's go over both. So I told you guys our goal is to, eventually get a home. One of our, let me show you guys, goals for 2025 is to have $50,000 for a house down deposit, as well as 50,000 YouTube subscribers. Listen, I got a lot of goals here. Student loans down to 50,000. That's for me. Mine, because my husband's is already in the 20s. Anyways, let's get back on topic here. The house. So we want to save for this house because the goal is to have $50,000 for a house down deposit. Will it happen? We're going to say it is, because Delulu is the Solulu. Okay? Simple. All right. Now, another thing we want to do is continue to give to our IRAs. We're not giving as hard as we once were, but we're still giving. And that's all that counts here. And then the last thing is sinking funds, because we use those things, okay? We use sinking funds for car repairs, I don't know, holidays, birthdays, Christmases, whatever, flights, travel, okay? Sinking funds get used over here. So let's get into these savings. So when it comes to house, now the goal for us right now, because we just got to be real, I change my mind a lot, he changes his mind a lot, we're just, our mind changes, I don't know. But the goal for us is to at least save $1,000 per check, or if not per check, equaling out to at minimum $2,000 a month. And I say $2,000 a month because some months there's a 3 paycheck month, right? So because this is a 2 paycheck month, the goal here is to save $2,000. I know it's ambitious. I'm an ambitious gal, okay? So we can do it. Now, when it comes to IRA, like I said, we're not saving as much or investing as much, but we are still investing. So 200 for me, 200 for him. And then when it comes to sinking funds, we're going to end up doing the difference a little bit. And it's going to be $376.96. So sinking funds is $376.96, and we're going to add them together, and we have 2,000 plus 400, because the 200 for his IRA, the 200 for my IRA, and then plus 376, right? Yeah, 96. So that is $2,776.96. I don't know why I was reading that so slow. Like, girl, are you good? Are you okay? 2,776.96. Okay, so 2,776.96 minus 4776.96. There's $2,000. That's $2,000 left over. Now we're moving to debt because that is our final thing. And we're going to do O loan. We're going to do Mo loan. Now this is going to seem a little unfair because you're thinking you're going to do 1,000 for him, 1,000 for you. And my husband and I talked about it. We're not going to do that. We're going to give more to my loans. Let me explain why, you guys, because I promise we have a method to our madness. My student loans are still gaining interest over 10,000. I was going to say 10,000. Oh, geez. Over $10 a day. So we have decided we're going to push more money to my student loans, but we're still going to push extra money to his student loans. Stay with me now, okay? So we're going to give my husband's student loans $500. And then we're going to give my student loans $1,500. Still equaling to 2,000, but just not equally yoked here. And it's really because, again, his loans were on the save plan, and now that's a whole freeze, pause, whatever, life's lifing. But loans is not gaining interest, and mine's are. So here we are. And this is our goal right now. And again, like I said, we changed our mind. So you know what? At the end of June, or maybe in the top of July, when we're closing out June budget, we might be like, you know what? We actually just split it up. We just ended up splitting the money, and that's just where we are. Okay, so now this is the actual budget. We are expecting to bring in a little over $8,000. And again, I'm so grateful for that. Also, here is the cash. So this is what we do best. Cash. It's a lot more work. I promise you it's a lot more work. But is the work worth it? Yes. Yes, it is. So what do we like to do in cash, or at least what works for us a little bit better in cash, is when we get our food in cash. So we don't overshop. Because if you have cash, you have it and then you don't. If you only had $100 to spend on groceries, you need to only make sure you only spend $100. It's kind of straightforward. Whereas when you have that credit card, you just be swiping. And while I'm saying you, I'm really talking about me. So So we don't use gas or cash for our gas. Say that 7 times. We don't use cash for our gas. But we do use it for our fun money. We don't use it for our gas because we try to get Costco or BP. And we do BP because we have rewards with BP from another grocery store. So life. So these are the 3 things. So 4, 5, 6, about $600 we try to take out in cash every month, if it's not a 3 paycheck month, and then go from there. Now, do we do it always? No. But do we do our best, you guys? Yes, we really do our best. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe. Also, every Sunday, I have a new blog post that talks about money, finances, financial freedom mentality, debt, becoming debt free, a whole bunch of things, how to save, different tips, different tricks. So make sure you guys go to paperbymo.com, subscribe, and check out these blog posts. Bye.